Let's start with something less scary and slowly work our way up to the most horrifying unsolved mysteries you've ever heard of. And this one literally scared me while making this video. In 1987, during a normal evening in Chicago, people were watching TV like always. Everything felt normal until suddenly, the signal cut out. The screen went dark for a moment, then switched to static, and then a man appeared, wearing a strange mask, sunglasses, with a moving, distorted background behind him. At first, it looked like a glitch, but then he started talking, and nothing made sense. His voice was warped, his tone unsettling, and his movements jerky and unnatural, almost like a machine trying to act human. People watching were confused. Some thought it was a prank. Others thought something was seriously wrong, and just as suddenly as it started, it ended. The normal broadcast came back, like nothing ever happened. But later that same night, it happened again. This time, even more disturbing. The same masked figure returned, now acting completely unhinged. He laughed strangely, made random noises, moved in ways that felt uncomfortable to watch. And then, the signal cut again. Just like that. No explanation, no warning, nothing. Authorities quickly started investigating, because hijacking a live television broadcast is not something easy. You need equipment, knowledge, perfect timing. But despite all that, they found nothing. No suspects, no clues, no one was ever caught. To this day, no one knows who did it, or how they pulled it off so cleanly. And that's what makes it so unsettling. Because somewhere, there's a person who managed to break into live television, show something truly bizarre to thousands of people, and then disappear without leaving a single trace. In 1948, on a quiet beach in Australia, a man was found dead. He was lying against a seawall, fully dressed, as if he had just sat down and never got back up. At first, nothing seemed unusual, no signs of struggle, no visible injuries, but the more investigators looked, the stranger it became. There was no ID on him, no wallet, no name. Every label on his clothes had been carefully removed. It was almost as if someone didn't want him to be identified. An autopsy was done, but even that raised more questions. There were signs that he might have been poisoned, but no poison was ever found. No clear cause of death, just a healthy man who suddenly died. But the most disturbing part was still hidden. Inside a small secret pocket in his clothing, police found a tiny piece of paper, printed with two words, Tamam Shud. It means ended or finished. The paper was traced back to a rare book. After a long search, they actually found the exact copy, and inside that book was something even stranger. A series of random letters, written like a code. To this day, no one has been able to fully decode it. No one knows what it means, or if it even means anything at all. And here's the mystery. Who was this man? Why were all his identities removed? What does Tamam Shud really mean in this context? And most importantly, how did he die? Because even after decades, with modern technology, this case is still not fully solved. Okay, this one is where things start getting really weird. Imagine this, you're walking on a quiet hill in Brazil, and you come across two men, just lying there, not injured, not attacked, just dead. And at first, you'd probably think, maybe natural causes, right? But then you look closer, and you realize both of them are wearing metal masks, not normal masks, heavy lead masks, covering their eyes, like something they intentionally made. Now ask yourself, why would someone go up a hill, wear a raincoat, and then put on a lead mask before dying? Because yeah, it gets even stranger. Before they went there, these two men actually bought water and raincoats from a local shop. Completely normal behavior, nothing suspicious, so clearly they were planning something. And police later found a small notebook near their bodies. And what was written inside? This is the part that really messes with your head. 1630, be at the agreed place. 1830, ingest capsules. After effect, protect metals. Wait for signal. Take a second and think about that. Ingest capsules. Protect metals. Wait for signal. What signal? What were they expecting to happen? And here's the creepiest part. No capsules were ever found. No poison, no chemicals, nothing in their bodies that explains how they died. It's like they followed these instructions perfectly, and then something happened. That left no trace at all. Some people think they were trying to contact something. Others believe it was some kind of experiment, gone wrong. But the truth is, no one knows. Two completely normal men climb a hill, follow mysterious instructions, wear lead masks, and die without any explanation. Alright, before we move on to the next two mysteries, I want you to prepare yourself, because these last two are going to be very disturbing. Alright, this case is different. It's not just mysterious, it's uncomfortable, because the more you think about it, the less sense it makes. In 1978, 5 men went to watch a basketball game in California. Everything was normal. They enjoyed the game, got snacks, and then started heading back home. That's it. Nothing strange. But they never made it back. Their car was later found, abandoned on a remote mountain road. And this is where things start to feel off. The car wasn't damaged. It wasn't stuck. There was even enough fuel left. It was perfectly drivable. So why did they leave it? And more importantly, why did they walk deep into the mountains in freezing conditions? Search teams started looking for them. Days passed, then weeks, and what they found made even less sense. One by one, their bodies were discovered, far away from the car, in areas they had no reason to go. But the most disturbing part was one of the men. He was found inside a small trailer, and here's what doesn't make sense. He survived for weeks. There was food inside the trailer, enough to keep him alive, but he barely ate it. He had access to supplies, but still died from starvation and exposure. Think about that. He could have survived. He had what he needed, but for some reason, he didn't use it. To this day, no one knows why they left the car, why they went into the mountains, or what really happened out there. No clear explanation. Just 5 men who made a series of decisions that no one can understand. And that's what makes this case so disturbing. Because it's not just about what happened, it's about why it happened. And that question still has no answer. In 1912, in a quiet town called Villisca, a family went to sleep like any normal night. Inside the house were 8 people, 2 parents, their 4 children, and 2 young girls staying over, all under one roof. But sometime during the night, someone entered the house, and the disturbing part? There were no signs of forced entry, which means the door was unlocked, or the killer was already inside. One by one, as they slept, they were attacked. No one had time to react. No one escaped. By morning, all 8 were dead. But it didn't end there. The killer didn't leave immediately. He stayed inside the house for hours. Some reports say he covered the mirrors and placed cloth over the victims' faces, almost like he didn't want to see what he had done. When the bodies were found, the entire town was in shock. This wasn't a random place. This was a normal home, a normal family, and yet something like this happened right inside it. Investigators tried everything. Suspects were questioned. Theories were made, but nothing was ever proven. No solid evidence. No confirmed suspect. And over time, the case went cold. Even today, more than 100 years later, no one knows who did it or why. And that's what makes it so terrifying, because this didn't happen in the middle of nowhere. It happened in a place where people felt safe, and in just one night, that safety was gone. Just a silent house where 8 people went to sleep and never woke up. Some mysteries are strange, some are disturbing, but cases like this make you realize something far more unsettling. Not everything in this world is meant to be understood. Thanks for watching. There are so many unsolved mysteries out there, but I could only cover 5 in this video. If you want more, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next upload. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.